doing a review. Spoiler warning, I'm going to tell you about the whole movie. As if people haven't read the graphic novel out there, most of them that are seeing the film. The Watchmen, one of Time Magazine 100 greatest novels in history, they say. You want to know the New World Order ideology, what makes the globalists tick, what their philosophy is? You see The Watchmen, you will know. And doing more research on this film, I noticed that most of the reviews say, it's confusing, we don't understand the movie, we don't understand the ending. Well, you'd have to be a complete moron and not know how the world works, not understand it. It's all about false flag terrorism and how good it is. So we're going to be breaking that down right now. Let's finish up with the official trailer, just the tail end of it we were playing here. Here it is.
The world will look up and shout and save us. And I'll whisper, no.
Watchmen. All right, now the number one film in theaters. Now, let's break this down. In the Illuminati system of thought, in their religion, they believe in a balance. They believe in the yin and yang. They believe there's the evil force, the destructive force, and the creative force, and they believe that they have to guide and manipulate that force to save humanity. They have to carry out eugenics. They have to kill masses of us for our own good, to rise man up. And the man that wrote Watchmen, Alan Moore, is an admitted Mason, and the entire, he writes other comics like The Sandman and others. It's all about the New World Order. It's all about the Illuminati. It's all about secret societies. In this novel, what the film's based on, and it's also like that in the film, it's called the Pyramid Corporation and the Great Pyramid Corporation, and they can't figure out who it is or why the Pyramid Corporation is killing the other Watchmen. Well, that's because it's a new age, and Dr. Manhattan, in a fission fusion experiment at Rockefeller Military Research Institute, has been turned into this God man who can control matter, be anywhere in the universe at any time, be in multiple places, go forwards in time, go backwards in time. He's God. He's the new God man. He is the new man that the elite is reaching for. Now, this individual, the comedian, is a Special Forces commando, and they have him in the film blowing Kennedy's head off from behind the grassy knoll. They have him running special ops and assassinations around the world. Richard Nixon is, this is based in the early 80s, is in his third term as the president of the United States. They're on the verge of nuclear Armageddon with the Soviet Union because the United States is surrounding Russia. Notice the Cold War's being brought back right now. Notice they have encircled Russia again. They're moving weapon systems in. They snuck attacked Georgia in South Ossetia as a pretext to start World War III, but that failed back on 888. Look at the numerology yet again with these individuals. And the different characters are Night Owl, the comedian, Rorschach, Dr. Manhattan, Silk Spectre, Ozymandias. And Ozymandias has a super brain. He is the smartest man in the world. In fact, he's even smarter at this point in his development than the God man, Dr. Manhattan, who is just now discovering his powers. Now, Rorschach is the runt of the group, and Rorschach was abused as a child, and Rorschach goes around killing serial killers and child kidnappers. And they repeatedly say he's backwards, he's stupid, he's a sociopath, he's the bad guy. Rorschach is fighting the Pyramid Corporation. He's the conspiracy theorist. And he goes to Ozymandias and says, I think somebody's trying to kill the Watchman, not knowing he's actually going to the very individual that is out there trying to kill the Watchman, starting with the comedian. Now, why did they have to kill the comedian? Because he works for the government at the highest levels with the Pyramid Corporation, and he doesn't want to be part of the global false flag attack that's going to be launched to bring in the new kingdom of Earth, the new world order. We're going to come right back and break this down. Stay with us. All right, thank you for joining us. Go right back into the transmission here today. I'm going to take my time doing this review because it's very, very important, of Watchmen. Now the #1 movie in theaters. And with all these different reviewers saying they don't understand the ending, they don't understand it. Well, it's real simple. Rorschach and also the comedian want to stop. These are the two, sub-superheroes. They want to stop the planned false flag terror attack that they know is being planned by somebody. Now, the comedian knows who it's being planned by, so he's torn. He's the guy that assassinated Kennedy from behind the grassy knoll. He's a New World Order Special Forces hitman. He's that archetype, so he has to be killed. Rorschach is then finally killed because he's going to expose at the end who staged the false flag attack. And we'll break that down coming up here in just a few minutes. But to understand what's happening here, you have to first understand how the globalists operate, how they believe that they must reveal their plans to the public before they do it. And there's thousands of examples of this. Scores of books and films. A Tom Clancy book in '99 came out where a hijacked jet is flown into the World Trade Center. And the Pentagon did drills of hijacked jets being flown into the Pentagon and World Trade Center. They ran drills that morning of hijacked jets being flown to the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. And NORAD's on tape saying, is this real world or exercise? I've got simulated blips over the real blips when they bombed the trains and the bus on 7/7. Again, they launched the attack on Russia, 8/88. They launched the attack on 7/7. They launched the attack in Madrid on 3/33. They're obsessed with numerology, just like low-level psychopaths are obsessed with numerology and the occult, if you study criminology. And they like to leave tokens. They like to leave warnings. They like to write letters to the police, in the case of the Zodiac and many others, taunting them, or Son of Sam. Most of these big national serial killer operations are done by cults, and that's come out. So they're obsessed with numerology. But as the low-level people engage in this, so do the high-level. As above, so below. And you have the occultist, the Mason, Alan Moore, in his novel, The Watchmen, the most celebrated graphic novel out there, admitting all of this. Okay, so I get approached now 4 years ago by one of the stars of the X-Files, one of the stars of the spinoff of that, The Lone Gunman on Fox. And he says, Alex, I know you've been playing clips on air from that pilot episode of The Lone Gunman that aired 6 months before 9/11, where the government hijacks a jet by remote control to fly it in the World Trade Center and uses a drill to make NORAD stand down, exactly what then happened 6 months later, as a pretext to attack Afghanistan. And he said, yes, it's true, and the CIA would approach us and Chris Carter and say, we want you to do stories on this. And you can just Google Alex Jones, Dean Haglund, and watch one interview at my house when he came to my home. I got a call, hey, Dean Haglund wants to come to your house. I said, sure. Boom, Dean Haglund's there a couple days later. Drove from California to meet me. What was he talking about? How does this tie into The Watchmen? This is from The Lone Gunman, where one of the Lone Gunman investigators, conspiracy theorists, is talking to his father, high-level National Security Council, about the government, a criminal group, planning to stage a terror attack and using drills to make NORAD stand down to then attack Afghanistan. Here it is.
What is Scenario 12D? We know It's a war game scenario, that it has to do with airline counterterrorism. Why is that important enough to kill for?
Because it's no longer a game.
If some terrorist group wants to act out this scenario, why target you for assassination?
Depends on who your terrorists are.
The men who conceived of it in the first place. You're saying our government plans to commit a terrorist act against a domestic airline?
There you go. Indicting the entire government as usual. It's a faction. A small faction.
For what possible gain?
The Cold War's over, John.